to the third part of the Civic Engagement and Leadership Series, Communicating Your Brand on Your Resume. This program is a collaboration between Walden University's Career Planning and Development Department and the Office of Civic Engagement and Leadership. Before I hand it over to our wonderful presenters, I want to review some instructions for navigating and participating in this session. Audio is muted and video sharing is not available for participants. Feel free to resize or move any of the session content tools around your screen. Enter your questions for the presenters in the Ask Questions section, and we will share your questions as time allows. The attendee chat is also available throughout this session. Feel free to access a PDF of the presentation, as well as download links and resources from the related content section. If any of the tool windows disappear, you may access the toolbar at the bottom of your screen to open it again. As a reminder, this webinar is being recorded and is available on demand using the same link you used to register for the session. Once the session concludes, you'll have an opportunity to click the webinar survey to provide us with feedback. I'll now turn it over to Dr. Rochelle Gilbert.
Thank you, Kayla. Greetings, everyone. I am Dr. Rowe, the Associate Vice Provost for the Office of Civic Engagement and Leadership. Welcome to part 3 of our leadership series, where we're excited to introduce Communicating Your Brand on Your Resume. This series is designed to empower emerging leaders to embrace your unique stories, amplify your voices, and lead with authenticity. At Walden, we believe leadership is lived both inside and outside the classroom. That's why we create experiences like this, focused on equipping you with tools, insight, and confidence to lead with purpose. Likewise, in the Office of Civic Engagement and Leadership, we believe that leadership begins with self-awareness. And personal branding is a powerful tool to define how your values, your strengths, and your passions align with your professional and civic goals. Whether you're navigating your next career move, seeking to grow your influence, or aiming to inspire change in your community, your personal brand is your leadership signature. Now, our mission and vision here is simple. We provide transformative, impactful experiences for students and alumni in the broader community. Our vision is to empower students and graduates and all of our stakeholders to be change makers, leaders, and engaged citizens throughout their lives through teamwork and open-minded or free thinking. So what, you may ask? Well, here's how we're creating real impacts here in SAIL. Through an expanded reach. That means we want all of the stakeholders to come together. We want to drive your growth through experiences like these. In collaboration with the Center for Social Change, we are driving the social change mission. And lastly, through strategic alignment, we want to make sure that all that we do aligns with your progress, your success, and your significance of your next as you're going through your journey. So at this time, I'll turn it over to Dr. Gladys Peters, who will introduce our speakers for the evening.
Thank you, Dr. Rowe. Well, good evening and welcome, everyone. Now I would like to introduce our main presenter today, Ms. Dina Bergen. Dina is the manager of Walden University's Department of Career Planning and Development. Joining us also is Walden Alumni Ambassador, Dr. Nefertiti Hope, who will be sharing her insights on how to highlight civic engagement and leadership activities on a resume. With us, we also have Ms. Denise Pranke, who is a specialist career advisor in the Department of Career Planning and Development. Denise will also be hosting one of our breakout room activities. We invite you to read their full bios in your own 24 bios module. And without further ado, Dina, I hand it over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Peters, and hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be here with all of you today. And I would like to help get us started by offering a brief welcome and introduction to career planning and development. The mission of our department is to support both students and alumni in developing workplace skills to thrive as professionals and social change agents in organizations and communities. And we are here to support you during the pursuit of your entire Walden degree and also after graduation. And although we're focusing specifically on communicating your brand on your resume today, I do want to mention that we have a multitude of other resources and offerings available on our website to help you manage your career. So now that you know a little bit about career planning and development, let's dive right into our topic by reviewing the agenda. During this hour, you will learn how to communicate your personal brand on your resume. We will also share tips on how to enhance your resume sections with civic engagement, leadership, and social impact activities to further strengthen your brand. And we have an exciting interactive activity plan today where you'll be able to create your own resume brand statement. We'll introduce you to resume writing tools and resources, including how to access our signature career management system called Skills First. And of course, we will take some time to answer your career-related questions. And for those of you who attended one or more of our previous programs, you may already be somewhat familiar with personal branding. But we know that everyone can use a refresher. So let's start with a review of the basics. What exactly is a personal brand? Well, a personal brand, according to the website, personalbrand.com, is a widely recognized and largely uniform perception or impression of an individual based on their experience, their expertise, competencies, actions, or achievements within a community, industry, or the marketplace at large. In other words, your personal brand is how others perceive you and the value that you present to others. During our three-part webinar series, we have been approaching personal branding through the lens of civic engagement and leadership, emphasizing those aspects of your brand that impact individuals, communities, and society at large. This session is specifically focused on how to communicate your personal brand on a resume. Before working on your resume, there are several important things you need to do to prepare. So let's take a look at those next. Well, first of all, you need to know about yourself, your personality, your interests, your skills, your strength, and your values. It's also important to take an inventory of your academic, professional, and volunteer-related skills and competencies to determine which ones you'd like to include in your resume. You want to reflect upon your multiple roles as a civic engagement leader. What impact did you make in organizations, in groups that you belong to, and in your community? And finally, consider your audience, or who will be reading your resume. Colleagues, thought leaders in your field, potential internship or volunteer sites that you might be targeting, potential employers. If you are a consultant, maybe clients or others. And one tip is to go back and watch prior Civic Engagement Series webinars, because in those programs, we dive deeper into all of these topics. And after this initial preparation, you're now ready to start communicating your brand as a civic engagement leader on your resume. During the next few minutes, we're going to review a resume sample of a civic engagement leader. And we are primarily going to focus on the summary, the skills and competencies, education and experience sections of the resume. These are some of the main sections to include on your resume to help your audience quickly grasp what is it that you accomplished through your academic, professional, and community-based activities and how you add value to others through your unique brand. We'll also review additional sections as we go along that can be added to the resume based on your individual experiences and activities in civic engagement and leadership. So let's start by taking a closer look at the summary section. And the summary is one of the most important sections of a resume. It is sometimes also called a summary of qualifications, a career summary, or a career profile. No matter what you choose to call the section, what is important is the information that you include in it. According to Indeed.com, the average time that employers look at resumes to determine if they are interested in learning more about the applicant is about 6 to 7 seconds. This is not a lot of time. So if you'll be using your resume to apply for jobs or other experiential opportunities, your summary section needs to grab your audience attention quickly and then entice them to learn more and continue reading your resume. To create an impactful summary, you want to start by including a resume brand statement as the first bullet or sentence of your summary. A resume brand statement sums up who you are and how you add value in one concise sentence. Here you can see a brand statement that specifically highlights multiple civic engagement and leadership roles and their impact. Passionate early childhood educator, advocate, program director, and community leader with over 15 years of combined experience positively impacting the lives of young children and families. So this is a very powerful, very concise brand statement. Later in the program, you'll also get a chance to develop your own resume brand statement in our activity. And other things to include in your summary section are major accomplishments, where you made the most impact, along with academic, professional, and community-based achievements. You can also include a few relevant academic knowledge areas from your Walden program, especially if you are transitioning into a new field and may not have a lot of experience yet. For example, extensive knowledge of current research on best practices in early childhood education. And of course, your summary should include specific civic engagement and leadership activities in professional organizations, in community organizations, and in other settings. Creating an impactful summary takes some reflection and effort. So it is important to take some time and think about what is it that you want to include in your summary and work on that branding statement. We hope that this example helps generate some ideas on how to organize your own summary section. In On 24, you'll see your related content module, where we have included a link to the civic engagement resume sample that we are discussing here together during this program. And you can refer to that sample and use it for future reference. And also the samples we are reviewing together, the sample itself is for a PhD graduate. But I want to emphasize that this resume format can also be used by students and graduates at all degree levels, bachelor's, master's, and doctoral. So if you are a civic engagement leader, this is a great template for you to use. And now on to skills and competencies. The skills and competencies section can also be called other things like specialized skills, areas of expertise, or be more tailored to specific skill sets such as civic engagement skills or technology skills, leadership skills, or others. In this example, we have included common skills related to civic engagement, along with other specialized skills that the person has in early childhood and technology and even language skills. The civic engagement skills are event coordination, group facilitation, leadership, public speaking, active listening, program development, and community partnerships. So let's pause for a minute here to get some feedback from you, the audience. And what are some additional skills or competencies that you have gained through your civic engagement and leadership roles? Take a moment and share in the chat. And Kayla, do we have any comments in the chat? Any contributions?
Not yet, but I'm sure you guys are still writing those down.
Absolutely.
Again, no wrong answers. We want to hear everything.
Yeah, think about your own civic engagement and leadership activities.
We got mentoring. That is an awesome one.
Yeah, that's great. Maybe empathy. Some of you may be working with youth in your community, so youth engagement. Some of you may be working in crisis intervention or emergency response or organizing events. Event organizing would be another one. So reflect on your skills and your competencies and which one of them are related to civic engagement and leadership. And of course, continue to cultivate new skills through your civic engagement and leadership roles. And there's some other ones. Yeah.
We received leadership, project management, event planning, creating leadership pipelines, community engagement, fundraising.
Those are great examples. I love leadership pipelines. That is really a unique competency and skill set and so valuable to include. Coordinating various teams for events. Yeah, that's awesome. Business development, disability advocate. Yes. So I mentioned youth, but if you work with individuals with disabilities or business development, yes. Thank you for contributing. These are really, really great examples of skills and competencies. Next, let's take a quick look at the education section. Your education, of course, is an important part of your overall personal brand. And you want to list your degrees in reverse chronological order with your most recent degree listed first. And if you are a Walden student who is currently working on your degree, then list your expected graduation year. And if you're very close to graduation, maybe the month and the year that you're expected to graduate. The example on the slide, along with the civic engagement resume sample, can help you quickly format your education section. So definitely refer to that sample as you update your own education section. Next, let's take a look at another very important part of the resume, the experience section. To communicate your experience on your resume, the first step is really to organize and customize your experience section in a way that best reflects the information in it. You can simply call the section professional experience, or if you have substantial experience in several areas, consider organizing your experience into 2 or 3 separate experience sections using custom titles such as leadership experience or teaching experience, social impact experience, additional experience, and others. Since every person's situation is unique, we encourage you to take some time to consider how to best organize your various experiences. But also, if you need some help, we do invite you to reach out to Career Planning and Development, and we can also provide you some feedback during a career advising appointment. It's also important to use consistent formatting throughout your experience sections. Include a title, include the organization and employer, city and state, and where they are located, and the date range. And if you'd like, you can also include a brief description of the nonprofit or employer. That is optional. And for each position, include strong accomplishment statements that clearly and concisely communicate the impact that you've made through your various roles. Strong accomplishment statements start with strong action verbs. They describe specific details and include keywords. And whenever possible, they focus on outcomes or results of your efforts. So on the slide, you can see several strong accomplishments listed, such as develop and implement strategic initiatives, including advocacy with local foundations to expand Holding Hands outreach and strengthen its positive impact on families, caregivers, and professionals. Refer to these examples and review the action verbs list that's provided in your On24 content module to help with writing your accomplishment statements. And if you haven't taken a look at that module yet, definitely do so at this point, because you'll be surprised how many resources we've provided for you to help with effective resume writing. And now let's take a look at the volunteer section. The volunteer section is really important if you're a civic engagement leader, and it is used to highlight relevant but unpaid experiences that you might have been engaging in. Notice the multiple volunteer roles on this resume related to civic engagement leadership: event organizer, presenter, committee chair, advocate, and others. And notice the community, university, and school organizations that are listed. This person is definitely a civic engagement leader, very involved in many different areas. And also notice the strong accomplishment statements that describe each of the volunteer experiences. And remember that the skills and experiences that you gain as a volunteer are also very valuable, and adding a volunteer experience section can further strengthen your brand as a civic engagement leader. So your experiences do not have to be paid. Unpaid experiences are just as valuable. Next, let's take a look at a few examples of accomplishment statements. When developing accomplishment statements, it's not enough to simply tell your reader that you have certain skills. You want to show that you have those skills through specific examples. Here are 3 examples of accomplishments that have been built around 3 common skills or competency areas related to civic engagement and leadership: community building, executive presence, and collaboration. And of course, there are many, many other skills you could list, and many of you shared in the chat some of those as well. So we would invite you to refer to these examples as you add your own accomplishment statements to your resume, especially in that volunteer experience section. And now let's review a few additional sections you could add to your resume to further highlight your activities. Some common sections to add could include certifications, presentations, affiliations through professional, community, or school organizations, any honors or awards, committees you may have served on, and trainings or professional development activities that you've completed. I'd like to pause here and ask the audience, are there any other sections you could add to your resume to help communicate activities related to civic engagement and leadership? Please take a moment and share in the chat. And we'll see what kind of responses we get. I know last time we had some really good feedback, so we hope to have good feedback this time as well. Giving back to the community. Okay, wonderful. And are there any other sections that could be added? Community involvement might be a good section for that one. Community involvement is a lot like volunteer experience. but you don't have to include the accomplishment statements. It's more used to list community related activities. And some other ones might be languages. Maybe you want to, if you speak multiple languages, or some of you may have published articles in newsletters, for instance. So popular publications or peer-reviewed publications if you published in academic journals. Yeah. And this is interesting. Maybe quotes that interest you to show personality. Okay. Yeah, that might be better in a career portfolio, I would say. Sometimes there's not a lot of room on a resume that's typically, about 2 pages in length for a mid-career professional. But yeah, maybe a quote even on your LinkedIn profile as well. Yeah. Volunteerism is another section. Yeah, that's a great idea. So not only volunteer experience, but you could call that section volunteerism. That's a really good idea. Yeah, so there's different ways that you can organize your resume. Thank you, everyone, for your feedback. This was wonderful. And we hope that you have gained many new ideas to help you enhance your resume. But now I'd like to go on to our next portion of this program. And I'm so excited to invite Walden Alumni Ambassador, Dr. Nefertiti Holt, to share her insights on how to communicate civic engagement and leadership activities on a resume. And I'd like to give a brief introduction. Dr. Holt is a very powerful example of a strong, compassionate, and mission-driven civic engagement leader. She serves as a Walden Alumni Ambassador, and she earned her PhD in management from Walden. She is the Senior Manager of Belonging at Easy Core, and she has 15 years of experience transforming organizations. She's an advocate for inclusive leadership, belonging, and personal growth. Also, a speaker, an author, and a coach. And she publishes an inspirational newsletter on LinkedIn called Fuel for the Soul. Dr. Holt, welcome to the program. We're so happy to have you here today.
Thank you for having me.
And Dr. Holt, how have you communicated aspects of your personal brand as a civic engagement leader on your resume?
I have really taken the time to make sure that my resume reflects my values as much as it reflects my experience. In particular, in the summary section, I lead with purpose. I describe myself as a passionate advocate for belonging and someone who's committed to making the workplace more inclusive. I wanted to be apparent that civic engagement is not something I do really on the side, but it's part of my identity. It shows who I really am. And throughout the experience section, I intentionally list roles and initiatives that speak to leadership, inclusion, belonging, and service. So for example, in corporate settings, I call out community partnerships. I've developed the DEI strategies, the affinity groups that I've led and run. And these leadership roles, they all happen sometimes outside of my formal hierarchy, but they're critical and they deserve to be front and center of my resume. I also add in the additional sections, spotlighting any kind of volunteering, published articles, speaking engagement, because they're not just really add-ons. They paint the complete picture of my commitment to engagement. I really just see my resume as a leadership snapshot. And it's not just what I've done, but it's where I choose to be and who I choose to show up as in every space that I get a chance to be in.
Wow, that is wonderful. I have to say, I love what you said about lead with purpose and also making your brand part of your identity, part of your core. And what advice would you have for other Walden students and graduates who are looking to build a strong, impactful civic engagement and leadership brand on their resume?
I would double down by starting with purpose and tailor your resume to your audience every time. It makes a big difference. Don't be afraid to lead with your why. Whether you're applying for a nonprofit role or a corporate position, your civic values can and they should shine through. Include your resume and your brand statement that expresses who you are as a leader, as an individual, because there's more than a list of duties. It's about your unique contribution to change or organization. I would say be intentional about listing those skills and accomplishments. If you organize, for example, a community drive, facilitated dialogues on social justice, or just led a group of people through change, say that. Don't minimize anything, even if it's unpaid, because unpaid experiences matter. So that's volunteering, internships, student leadership roles, they all count. And they speak values to your initiatives and things that are important to you. I would also say always, always, always actively seek out opportunities to build your civic engagement and leadership. So no matter what you've done already, or if you haven't done anything, go ahead and go towards those things, whether it's joining a professional association, participate in student and alumni groups, attend public forums and give feedback. The work doesn't just happen when we get paid, it happens every time we show up. And lastly, above all, be the change you want to see. Whether we want to just serve at a food bank or mentor youth or organize town halls, we just have to keep showing up, putting it on our resume, because consistency over time builds credibility. And then the passion builds the impact. And after that, the resume is just following up with all those things.
Thank you for sharing your insights with us, Dr. Holt. Absolutely, starting with that purpose, going back to knowing yourself, your interests, skills, values, and leading with the why. So many great points to think about and great ideas as well on how to become more engaged as a civic engagement leader, because a resume is always fluid. You're always changing it, adapting it, enhancing it with new experiences, new activities. You are
Absolutely.
truly an inspiration, Dr. Holt, and you help remind us that there is just so much more that we can do to help and support others while also building an authentic personal brand. And now
Thank you so much for having me.
You are very welcome, Dr. Holt. It is a pleasure having you on this program. And now we're going to move on to our activity. During the next few minutes, you'll get a chance to create a resume brand statement around your own civic engagement and leadership roles. And to simplify the process, we've broken down the resume brand statement into 4 specific parts: the adjectives, the roles, years of experience, and specialty areas. And first of all, think about 1 to 2 adjectives that best describe who you are as related to your interest and strength and the needs of your audience. For our example, we've selected the adjectives engaged and self-driven. Again, think about that purpose that Dr. Holt mentioned. And we invite you to review the adjective list that is provided to you in the On24 content module to also help you choose a couple of strong adjectives that best describe you. And next, consider your multiple roles as a civic engagement leader. Then choose a few roles that best highlight your brand. Here you can see the roles we selected were leader, mentor, content developer, meeting organizer, and project manager. So we all wear multiple hats. We have multiple roles. What are some roles that really speak to you as you consider your own purpose and civic engagement? And next, quantify the years of combined experience in those roles. And finally, include a few key specialty areas related to your civic engagement and leadership activities. And together, then a strong resume branding statement could sound something like this: engaged and self-driven leader, mentor, content developer, meeting organizer, and project manager with 3+ years of combined experience leading professional development events, mentoring new student organization members, creating social media posts, and contributing to program improvement initiatives. And this may be a civic engagement leader who is involved in Walden University student organizations, for example, and also in their community and in their workplace. And so now it is your turn. We're going to break out into small groups to work on our individual resume brand statements. You will have 10 minutes to work in the breakout rooms. And after the activity, we will come together and we'll, if there's time, share additional resources and tools for building your resume that are available through career planning and development. And one thing about the breakout rooms, they will not be recorded. So please don't be shy to share your resume brand statement with a group and with each other in the chat. And Kayla will now instruct us on how to locate and join the breakout rooms.
We ask that you all join breakout room 1, and you can locate the breakout rooms on your screen or by clicking the purple icon in your toolbar. See you in the room. Welcome back, everyone. We'll give just another moment for everyone to return back to the main room.
Everyone. Hopefully, people are returning back to the main space here. And Kayla, can you hear us?
I sure can. You are all set to continue.
Wonderful. All right, so let's go ahead to our next part. We had such a wonderful discussion in the breakout room and sharing of brand statements. And now we're going to talk about some additional resume resources that are available through career planning and development. And as a Walden student or graduate, all of you have access to many tools and resources to help you communicate your brand to employers and other professionals in your field. The Career Planning and Development website has an entire resumes and more tab with resume tips, videos, resume outlines, samples, and a lot more. And there is a link to the Resumes and More tab right in your On24 content module. And on this tab, you'll also find access to Skills First, which is our signature career management system. Skills First includes resume, letter, portfolio, pitches, and interviews modules to help you communicate your personal brand. And Skills First is very powerful. It has artificial intelligence tools or AI tools that provide feedback and tips on how to strengthen your resume and tailor it toward specific job postings. And Walden students and recent grads can simply log into Skills First from the Resumes and More tab using their Walden email and password. But if you are an alum who's joining us who no longer has access to your Walden credentials, simply email our team at careerservices@mail.waldenu.edu, and we'll send you a special alumni access code to enter the system. The Resumes and More tab also has very, very helpful step-by-step guides to help you navigate the system and maximize and its resume building features as well. So one thing to keep in mind when building your resume, Skills First can help make this process so much easier and so much faster for you. Inside Skills First, you'll find 70 plus custom Walden preferred resume samples that our team developed together with leaders across the university to meet the needs of Walden students and academic programs. And along with the civic engagement sample that we discussed here today during this program, we have many more samples related to policy and advocacy work, social impact, nonprofit management, leadership, higher education, communication, and many other areas of interest. So the main takeaway here is that you don't need to start from scratch when you're creating your materials. We recommend using Skills First to take your resume to the next level. And along with using Skills First, we also invite you to read articles on the Career Planning and Development blog. And here you can see a few articles on Skills First AI tools, how to tailor a resume in 5 easy steps, and a career success story from a student who Denise actually worked with. And he updated his resume and received a promotion. So hopefully the stories will motivate you and also give you some really good insights on how to move forward in your career. And the blog is really one of our hidden gems on our website, and we strongly encourage you to refer to it for alumni success stories and to help you navigate your career. Also, if you're interested in additional resume writing strategies, we invite you to register for our upcoming Write a Winning Resume webinar. Our Write a Winning Resume is one of our essential career skills programs, and we're offering it on Thursday, June 26th, 2025 at 6 p.m. Central or 7 o'clock Eastern. And sign up. Even if you're unable to attend, you'll receive an on-demand version of this program. And you can register for it right on the Career Planning and Development website. There's also a registration link that Kayla had provided in the On24 related content module. And if you need additional support, we are here for you. You can schedule one-on-one career advising appointments. We work with both students and alumni. The appointments are about 45 minutes in length, and we recommend the Zoom option, though you can also elect to meet with us over the phone, and we tailor the appointments to your individual needs. Also, if you're thinking of ways to add civic engagement and leadership roles to your resume, Walden offers many organizations and groups you can join. So before we open it up for questions, I'd like to hand it over to Dr. Rowe, if she's available, to share some of Walden's offerings, or Dr. Peters. Okay, I don't know. Hi, Dr.
And it's okay, Dina. We just wanted to, because of the time constraint here, please know that we have over 28 student organizations and under societies that students can participate in here at Walden University. This is just a smidge of the offerings and the opportunities. So we hope that something is of interest to our students. So please join and connect with community here at Walden U.
Thank you, Dr. Peters. And because we are right on the hour, maybe we can conclude the program and maybe stay on a few minutes for those who do have questions for us. So I'm gonna just let everyone know that they can reach out to our team and check out the resources in the On24 related content module. Also visit our website, schedule a career advising appointment, or reach out to our team at careerservices@mail.waldenu.edu. We are on social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram, so check us out. And don't forget to tap into the wealth of knowledge by reading the blog. And with that, Dr. Peters, I'm gonna have you wrap up the program and wrap up the Civic Engagement and Leadership Personal Branding webinar series. And then we can stay on maybe for a few minutes if people do have questions.
Absolutely, Dina. Yes, certainly we can stay on, but we just want to express our sincere thanks as we conclude this three-part impactful civic engagement and career planning and development leadership series. We thank you for joining us. We truly hope that this series has been all about authenticity, intentionality, and alignment with your values. I remember Dr. Holt saying that. Make sure that you display your civic engagement values, your identity. So whether you're a student, we have alums, whatever your voice is, make sure that your story has the power to inspire action and drive meaningful change. It has been our sincere honor to host you through this leadership series in the Office of Civic Engagement and Leadership in partnership with our friends in career planning and development. Until next time, please stay engaged, stay inspired, and continue building your brand with purpose and with passion. And Kayla, I turn it over to you to do our closing evaluation.
Thank you all so much, and thank you, Dr. Peters, for handing it over to me. We just want to remind you that we have a couple of things for you. So we have a certificate that you can click and download on your screen. We also would love to hear any feedback that you have. So once you close the session, you'll see a pop-up that will take you to our feedback. Again, we'd love to hear anything that you would like to share with us. Thank you all so much for joining. And if you have questions, please stay on. If you don't have any questions, thank you again and have a wonderful evening. I don't see any questions in the chat or in our Q&A area. So I will say thank you all so much for joining. Have a great evening.